You're welcome. All right, so chapter 5. We're going to move into a variety of topics, but it's going to center around the purchasing cycle. Okay. And so essentially what we're going to be doing from here, I believe chapter 5, 6, 7. I think chapters 5, 6, and 7. I think 8, we go into beverages. 9, we go into labor. And chapter 10, I don't remember exactly, but I believe it's the next few chapters. We're going to go over this purchasing cycle. Okay. So, bless you. Cycles. What is a cycle? Something that goes around, right? It repeats itself over and over again. Okay. So, the first stage is purchasing. We have to purchase the product in order to make the ingredients, to make the recipes. Okay. So, we purchase our product, we receive the product, we then store the product, we issue it, which means we put it into production. Okay, after we issue it, we're going to talk about, oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go. After we issue it, then we do inventory. Okay, so we do inventory right here. And then we have to know how much do we have to purchase again to be able to start the cycle all over again. Okay. The only item that's different is going to be what we call directs. Directs go directly into production. They skip the storing process. We don't store it. It goes directly into production. So things like fresh seafood or fresh bread that we get delivered from a bakery, or dairy products that we get delivered fresh that day, if it goes directly from the loading dock right into production, it's going to skip that storage spot. Because remember, when does food become part of our food cost? When we use it, when it's in production. If it's sitting in storage, it's not part of our food cost yet. Okay, it's part of our inventory, but it's not part of our food cost. And so those directs are skipping the storage spot and going directly into the issuing. Typically, it's going to be things that are very highly perishable, have a very short shelf life. Okay, that's what's going to determine whether it's a direct or a store if it goes into storage. Okay. When we purchase, we need to know the product specifications. That's number 2 on your worksheet. Okay. We need to know the product specifications. We've covered this already in a previous chapter. Okay. So we have 2 categories. They both start with the letter Q. Who can give me one of them? Quantity. Good. And the other is quality. Okay. So quantity and quality, those are the 2 different categories that are going to help us identify what our product specification is. Okay, so if we look here, our ingredient is an apple. Okay, our ingredient is an apple. Really, if we're looking at this, the only quantity is our packaging. The quantity I'm purchasing in a 15-pound case. Okay, everything else is a quality. What's an alternative quality of color for apples? Green or yellow. Okay, we have red. We also have organic as our cultivation type. Variety, what are some different varieties? We have Fuji up here. What are some different varieties of apples? Gala apples, McIntosh, what? Granny Smith, okay? Red Delicious, Yellow Delicious, all these different types of apples, and they all have different types of water content. They have different types of levels of tartness, okay? Can we substitute? What's the best apple to use for apple pies? Granny Smith, okay? If you didn't know that, now you know. Maybe one day when you're on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that'll be the last question and you'll know it. And then you have to share the money with me because I gave you the answer, okay? You'll be like, I remember this. Granny Smith is the best apple for apple pies because of its tartness, the structure of the apple, okay? Yellow Delicious is too mushy for an apple pie. And so we have to know, can we make substitutions? What are some adequate substitutions if this particular product is not available during that time, okay? So this product specification not only helps us identify the quantity and the quality of what we need to purchase based on the recipe, but also can we make any substitutions for it, okay? So that kind of gives you an idea of the quantity and qualities. And we need to have those based on the recipes. The ingredients in our recipes will tell us, okay? Questions, comments, concerns about quantity and quality? All right, so let's do an example for just us as a class, okay? All right, let's pick a different, Jacob, give me an ingredient that we use in the kitchen. Onions, good. Okay. So who can give me a quality of an onion that we might be looking for? Okay, so the color of onion, is it yellow, red, white? Okay. They all have different flavor profiles. I personally hate white onions, bless you, on a burger, but I love red onions on a burger. They have a different flavor profile if I want to eat raw onions, okay? The flavor, we have sweet onions, okay? We also have green onions. I forgot about that one, which is not necessarily what we think about as an onion, right? But it's like a scallion or like a green onion, okay? What else? Any other qualities of our onions? We might look at the size. Is it a medium? Is it a jumbo? Okay. So our size can be a quality. Obviously, well, I don't want to say obviously. Fresh. Or it could be frozen, right? There's frozen onions. It could also be chopped. Maybe it's not whole onions, right? When I was up in Maine this one summer, I was up there early enough to go to a food show, which I think is, if you ever have an opportunity to go to a food show, I highly recommend it. But they literally were selling all these vegetables in packages that were already processed. So I could buy onions that were sliced, or onions that were rings, or onions that were diced. Saves me time in the kitchen preparing those items. Of course, those items cost more than a raw onion, right? But thinking about what we've talked about in the past about our as purchase and edible portion, if I buy a whole onion and I chop off the tops and peel the skin, I don't have 100% usage of that. But if I buy a package of diced onions, I have 100% edible yield. I don't throw anything away, right? So there's lots of things to consider when we think about our product specifications. The quantity typically refers to how much it is. So that could be 20 pounds of onions, Could be 25 pounds of 50 pounds of onions. Okay, so that's the quantity is typically how much are we going to purchase. And what determines the quantity that we need? What's that? What we're making, right? I had some friends that owned a deli and they made a Chinese chicken Asian salad, right? And it was the only ingredient, or sorry, the only recipe on their menu that used mandarin oranges. So for a while, they were buying these giant cans of mandarin oranges, and they end up throwing half of them away because it wasn't a super popular item on the menu. Ultimately, they decided to go ahead and take it off the menu. But we could also think about just going to HEB and buying a little can. If it's nothing that I'm not going to use that much of, I could potentially do that as well. Say that one more time for me. Chinese chicken salad. What's that? It was WD Deli on Broadway, but they don't have it anymore on their menu. You do? Oh, nice. Did you work there when Michael and Wayne were there, or just Kelly and her husband? Okay, awesome. Kelly's a good industry colleague of mine. All right. So, questions, comments, concerns about quantity, quality, product specifications. And it's all driven by what? Your product specifications and the ordering is all based on the menu, the recipe. That's what dictates what we have to purchase. Okay. And so one of the things that we can do, remember this class is all about saving cost. One of the things we can focus on is how much we purchase and how much we have on hand. Okay. So the word par, P-A-R. Who is not familiar with this word? Okay. Those of you who are familiar with par, what does par mean? What's that? It's not a part of, nope. It's what we have to have on hand to operate, right? Any golf fans in the class? Right? Golf, when it says par, that means that's the minimum number of shots that you have to get the ball from the tee box to the green, to the hole, right? It's a par 3, that means you got 3 shots to get it there. Okay? Par is the minimum of ingredients we have to have on hand to operate. Okay? If we have less, what are we going to do potentially? We'll run out. If we have too much, it could be wasteful, it could waste space, it could be stolen, it could go bad, right? And so this par is important to determine exactly what we need on hand in order to operate. Okay? So, to determine our product usage, let me erase. So number 5 is par on your worksheet. Number 6, establishing par. 6A. If we have a similar daily usage, if we have the same thing every single day, we use the exact same amount, all we have to do is add. All we have to do is add the amount that we use every day in between deliveries. And that tells me how much par I need to have on hand. Okay? It's not super difficult. We're adding. Okay? No, I take that back. So sorry. Hold on. All we have to do is multiply. 6A is multiply. Okay? 6B is add. If we use the same thing every day, just multiply that number by how many days we have. If it's different, we just have to add it up together, okay? So let's look at our example that we have here, okay? The highlighted days are going to be the delivery days, okay? So for chicken, Monday through Thursday, chicken, do we use the same amount or different amounts? Monday through Thursday. The same, right? So all we have to do if we're doing the same is just multiply. What's our daily usage? 2 cases times how many days? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. So 2 times 4, we need to have 8 cases of chicken on hand. So that means on Monday morning, when I open for the day, I need to have 8 cases of chicken on hand to get me through Thursday. Okay. For delivery on Friday, for chicken, we have 6 for Friday, 6 for Saturday, and 2 for Sunday. So my weekend par is 14 cases. Okay, 14 cases. 6, 6, and 2. I have to add them because they're different each day. Questions, comments, concerns? All right, let's do potatoes. Monday through Thursday for potatoes. Is it all the same? No, it's different. Okay. So for the sake of space, I'm going to do 300 plus 150. Right? Because that 300 is the first 3, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday's 150 gives me a total of 450 pounds of potatoes Monday through Thursday. On the weekends, they're different. 200 plus 250 plus 150. Okay. So 500, 600. Do we agree? 600 pounds to get me through the weekend. That means when they drop off their order on Friday morning, I need to have 600 pounds in inventory to get through the weekend. And then lastly, our Bud Light. Okay. 1.5 times how many days? Times 4 days. Well, yes, but we're going to be looking at a daytime par, a weekday par, and a weekend par. So it's 2 different. So I want to look at 1.5 times 4 is 6. I'm sorry, y'all gave me 6. Just kidding. Sorry. Kegs. 6 kegs. And then 1.5 times 3 is 4.5. So do I call Silver Eagle and say, hey, I need 4.5 kegs of Bud Light? No, I round up to 5. My par is 5. Okay. So I'm going to round that up to 5 kegs. And it's okay if I order 5 kegs because we're going to talk about how we actually order product. Okay. How we actually order product in this process. I just realized my phone battery is dying. So give me 1 second to get that plugged in. All right, so take a look at what we have here. Our par for prime rib is 4. Just because my par is 4 does not mean that I order 4 every single time, right? My par is what I want to get up to do business. So if I already have 2 in inventory, then all I have to do is buy 2, right? So my order is par minus inventory. That is the amount to order. Par minus the inventory. So then I have my par for Thursday is 6. In inventory, I have 2, so I'm going to order 4 in this case. My par is 4 for Monday. Maybe my weekend wasn't as busy as I thought it was going to be, and I have an extra one on hand. So that means I'm only going to order 1 to get me up to my 4. Then my inventory, my par is 6. I have none in inventory. I'm going to go ahead and buy 6 this time. Okay, so purchasing just what we need to get up to par is going to allow us to make sure we're not wasting product. We're not ordering too much. Okay. Any questions on how this works? The ordering process. We're going to go through a few examples. Okay. Before we go through the last thing on your page is a concept called lead time, L-E-A-D, lead time. Your lead time is the time between when we order the product and when it's actually delivered, okay? The time between when you order the product and when it's actually delivered. In that lead time, do we shut down our restaurant and say we're not taking any orders? No. So we're still using product potentially during that lead time. So it's important to be able to calculate what that lead time usage is. And that's what we're going to do right now. All right. So in the examples, I will give you what your par is, okay? How much we have in inventory, and then determine the amount to order if the order is placed on Monday morning and it's delivered on Wednesday morning, okay? Now, for the purposes of this project or this assignment in this class, when I say morning, Monday AM, that means our delivery happens before either delivery or the order happens before we're open for the business for the day, okay? If I say PM or night, that means we're already done for the day. We're placing our order at the end of the day after the business is concluded, okay? And that's going to be important in just a moment, why, and I'll show you why. So if the order is placed on Monday morning, okay, and my delivery is Wednesday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, okay? If it's delivered on Monday morning, Wednesday morning, I'm so sorry, that means I'm not going to use it that day. Well, take that back, sorry. The product is going to get to me before I open for the day. Okay. Which means that's already in my next day's par. Okay. Monday morning means that I still have to operate on Monday. So I'm going to use product on Monday. And then on Tuesday, of course, I'm going to use product. But again, Wednesday, before it gets there, I'm not going to use that product because it's already getting there. What my goal is I want to be up to par. When that truck drives away, I should be up to 48 bottles. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns. At least 48 bottles. So this is how we do this. Our par minus the inventory is 26 bottles. Okay. But Monday, Tuesday, I'm still operating. I still have business. My daily usage is 10 bottles. So 10 bottles per 2 days is how many bottles? 20 bottles. I need to add that lead time usage. I have to add that back in and order 46 bottles. Okay. I need to order 46 bottles because if I only order 26 bottles, okay, and that truck drives away, they drop off 26 bottles. Well, on Monday and Tuesday, I would have used 20 of these bottles that are in inventory right now, potentially. And so when that truck drops off 26 bottles and they drive away, I'm only going to have 28 bottles on hand and I'm going to be shorthanded. So this lead time usage is really important to add that in, to take that into account. Okay. Now, sometimes your lead time is 0. I worked at Chester's Hamburgers all through high school, right? And at Chester's Hamburgers, the manager would place the meat order at night. So after we're done for the day, we're already finished business. They place that order for how many boxes of meat they need. And then that is delivered the next morning before we open, which means there's no lead time usage. We're not making hamburgers between nighttime and morning. So our lead time would be 0. Okay. But sometimes they'll make an order in the morning and it's not delivered till the next day. Well, I still have to use product during that day. My business is still open. Okay. So then my lead time usage would be 1. And so that would multiply by whatever our daily usage is. Questions, comments, concerns about that? Let's do another example. Oh, BTLS, sorry, bottles. BTLS. No, you're fine. It does look like BHS. Let's do another example. Okay. My par is 24 bottles. My daily usage is 10. My inventory is 6. Okay. To determine the amount to order, if the order is placed on Monday morning and the delivery is Tuesday morning. So my order is Monday. My delivery is Tuesday. AM. Okay. So Monday, if my order is placed on Monday morning, am I gonna have daily usage on Monday? Yes, I'm gonna be open for business. My order is delivered on Tuesday morning. Am I gonna be using it on Tuesday? No, because my order is already gonna be coming up. And so when I open on Tuesday, I'm gonna be ready to go. Okay. So in this case, how many check marks do I have? 1. So my lead time, sorry, that looks horrible. Let me correct that. My lead time usage is 1 day. Okay. We only have 1 check mark right here. And what is my daily usage? 10 bottles. Okay. So my lead time usage is 10. My par is 24. Inventory is 6. I subtract those two, what should I do? What do I get? 24 minus 6 is 18. Okay. And then I add those two together to get 28. So this tells me I should order 28 bottles. Okay. Does anybody see any issues with this particular situation? I don't have enough for Monday. I only have 6 in inventory. Okay. And I need 10. So in this case, I could just go ahead and order 24, but for the mathematics reasons, we're going to go ahead and order 28. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns about this? All right. Let's do one more. Okay. So my par is 500. Daily usage is 150. My inventory is 200 pounds. Okay. Determine the amount to order if the order is placed on Tuesday night and it's delivered on Thursday morning. So Tuesday PM, delivery is Thursday AM. Gonna fill in the blanks. We have Wednesday. Tuesday PM, I place the order. Am I gonna have usage on Tuesday? No, because I'm closed for the day. When it says PM, that means I'm closed for the day. So I place my order after my business is closed. I'm not gonna make any changes to that, right? Of course, Wednesday I'm going to. And Thursday AM, the delivery happens before I open. So that means I have no usage, no lead time usage. I have no usage between the order and the delivery. So in this case, it looks like 3 days, but in reality, it's only 1 day for our lead time usage. So lead time is only 1 day. So my par is how much? 500. Inventory 200. What's 500 divided, or sorry, 500 minus 200? Okay, so that's something I should order 300, but I'm also going to use how much? 150. And so I'm going to add those two together and I should order 450 pounds. Okay. When I order 450 pounds, that means when that driver drives away, I should have 500 pounds in my inventory. Now I may have a little bit more, right? Because if I don't use all 150 pounds on Wednesday, I may have a little bit more, but that's okay. It'll all make up for it the next time I place my order because it'll be part of my inventory. And I won't add to my order at that point. Did you have a question?
Yeah. So if we had ordered on Tuesday morning, so there would be a lead time as well, right?
If we had ordered on Tuesday morning, then yes, there would be lead time because we'd have operations on Tuesday morning throughout the day, and then Wednesday throughout the day, and then the order would come in on Thursday before we open. So it would be 2, correct? Yes.
So I was trying to say that you ordered the morning, say Tuesday morning, and it comes Thursday, it's supposed to be Thursday morning, but say it becomes like a little bit later, and you're open, which is Thursday.
Yeah. So that's a great question, Alan. So Alan, right? Okay, cool. That's a great question because you will know now this is just on paper and pencil. In real life, you'll know what your schedule is going to be. And you'll know that if your delivery comes in the middle of a shift or if it comes in during your like at the beginning of the shift or at the end of a shift. So you'll be able to know what that is in real life and be able to make accommodations for that. Yeah. That happened. I went to a place called Trapper Seafood, and they have all you can eat sushi. And I went one day and they didn't have spicy crab because it hadn't come in the truck yet because the truck was delayed. So yeah, sometimes that happens. All right, so now let's take a look real quick. At this last scenario. You might want to write this down. Just giving you a heads up, okay? Chester's Hamburgers uses 250 pounds of potatoes every Monday through Thursday and 400 pounds every Friday through Sunday, okay? So if I go ahead and do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 250 pounds on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So how much is that total? 1,000 pounds. Okay. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I use 400 pounds. Times 3 is 1,200 pounds. Oops. Sure, yep, absolutely. Okay. So basically, remember how we talked about in the PowerPoint that if our daily usage is the same, all we have to do is multiply. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days times 250 pounds is 1,000 pounds. Okay. 400 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. 400 times 3 is 1,200 pounds. One thing we did not go over in class in the discussion is a 10% safety factor. Sometimes we're going to build in our par. We're going to add a little bit more as a cushion, right? Just in case we get busier than we think we're going to be. We never know. We can never anticipate it. So in this case, we're going to build in a safety factor of 10%. So what is 1,000 times 1.0, which is 10%? 100 pounds. I'm going to add that to my 1,000 pounds. So that means my weekday par on the weekday. No, not dollars. Sorry. What was I thinking? Just pounds. We need 1,100 pounds during the week. Okay. That extra 100 pounds gives us a little bit of wiggle room. Let's say we're extra busy. We have a little bit of extra product. Okay. If we don't use it, that's okay. Because remember, we have that inventory. We're going to subtract what we have in inventory from our par anyways. So if it's already in inventory, we're not going to reorder it. Okay. Now, if we're multiplying the same thing for our weekend by 10%, in this case is 120 pounds. So when I add that to 1,200, 1,320 pounds. So even though I plan on using 400 pounds during the weekend per day, I'm actually going to go ahead and order 1,320 pounds to make sure I have just enough, just in case my weekend is a little bit busier than I think it's going to be. Yes. So 250 pounds. Oh, times 10%. Yes. So 1,000. And this is our 10% right here, our 10% safety factor. So 1,000 times 0.10. Okay, because 10% as a decimal place, we're going to move that decimal that's right here. We're going to move it over 2 spaces to make it back into a decimal. So that's where we get the 0.10. 0.10. So we multiply 1,000 times 0.10, and that gives me 100 pounds. And then I'm going to add my original number to get the total number of pounds that are needed. All right. So weekday is how much? What's my weekday par? Weekday par is my weekday par is 1,100. Okay, that's the weekday. What I need to get through Monday through Thursday, I need to have on Monday morning when I open for business, I need to have 1,100 pounds of potatoes on hand to get me through Monday through Thursday. Okay, my weekend par is 1,320. So on Friday, when that truck drives away, I need to have 1,320 pounds to get me through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. I don't want more. If I go more, it could spoil, right? I don't want less because then I could run out of food. Questions, comments, concerns about this? Okay. Now, this is your homework assignment. Your par homework assignment that's coming up, that's due, it should be due next week. Okay. These problems are the exact problems on that. So we already went through the first one, the first two actually. Okay. And we've already given you, we've already worked through our weekday par and weekend par. I'm not going to do the rest of it, but I am going to show you the manager's preparing for Friday morning delivery. Okay. So if we're preparing for Friday morning, which par are we looking for? The weekend par. Okay. They place the order. Sorry. They notice there's 300 pounds in inventory. Okay. How many pounds do they order to get to the weekend? We want to determine the amount to order if the order is placed on Thursday AM. Does that mean we're going to have usage on Thursday? Right. Yeah. On Thursday AM, I place my order on Thursday AM. I still have to operate on Thursday. Okay. Because remember, AM means I place the order before I'm open for the day. Okay. So the order is placed on Thursday AM and the delivery is Friday AM. So am I going to have daily usage lead time on Friday? No, because the delivery comes in before I open for the day. Okay. This is where it gets confusing. The students get confused all the time. I'm using my weekend par, but my daily usage is what? It's Thursday, which is a weekday, right? What is my daily usage for Thursday? What was my daily usage for the weekdays? 250 pounds. Okay. So this is where students get kind of caught off guard. I'm using my weekend par, but I'm using my daily weekday usage of 250 pounds. Okay, that's my daily weekday usage. The next scenario, the manager prepares for Monday morning delivery. Okay, so which par am I using in this scenario? The weekday par, right? Because I'm preparing for the Monday morning delivery to get me through the Monday, through the rest of the week. Okay. But if I ordered on Saturday after closing, So I order it Saturday PM. And the delivery is Monday AM. What days in between? Sunday, which is a weekend. Okay. So I'm using weekday par, but my daily usage is a weekend. So my usage is going to be the 400 pounds. Okay. I've given you too much. I should have challenged you and let you figure it out, but I think you guys will be in good shape. Okay. So then once you think about this, okay, the question is, how many bags, 50-pound bags, should they order? Okay. So if you take whatever the amount to order is and divide by 50 pounds, if you get a decimal, you have to round up. You can't call Cisco and say, I need 12.5 bags of potatoes. Okay. No, I need 13 bags of potatoes. I don't know if that's the answer or not, but that's what you're gonna always round up to the nearest dollar, or sorry, the nearest poundage in that case. So let's take a look really quickly. Purchasing formula and par homework. Okay. If you don't go back to the video that we just went over in class, there's an additional video right here in the directions for you to watch. You're welcome. Okay. So we went through these examples, question 1 and question 2, we already did in class together. So if you need help, you can go back and watch the video live of the live lecture. Question 3 and 4, you do by yourself. Just kidding. We're not going to do the, I thought I had the potatoes questions on here. So let's do that in class together real quick. Okay. So really you just have questions 3 and 4 to work on for your homework assignment. We already did questions 1 and 2. On this quiz, you have 10 attempts, this quiz. So I would recommend that you try it by yourself first, see if you can redo those first 2 from memory. And if not, then go back and rewatch the class discussion, okay? So let's go back to this order here, okay? What is my, where did it go? There we go. So what is my weekend par? From the math that we did before, what was the weekend par? 1,320 pounds, okay? And we're talking about our weekday daily usage. So if my par is 1,320, how much do I have in inventory? It says 300 pounds. So that tells me I should order 1,020 pounds, okay? My lead time. My order is placed on Thursday AM and it's delivered on Friday AM. So that means Thursday, I'm gonna have operations on Thursday. So my lead time usage is 1 and it's 250. So 250 times 1 is 250. I want to add that. Okay. When I add those together, what do I get? 1,270 pounds is what I should order. Okay. If I want 50 pounds, 1,270 pounds divided by 50-pound bags, I should order 26 bags. We see how that works? 26 pounds, 26 bags is what I should order. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns about this? Now, when we get ready for Monday, what was my weekday par? 1,100 and 100 pounds, right? That was the weekday. To get me through the weekday, I had 1,000 plus that 10% is 1,100. So if my order is placed on Saturday PM and it's delivered on Monday AM, I have Sunday in between. So it's just that one day. What was my daily usage for the weekend? 400 pounds. So my par of 1,100, inventory of 600, I subtract and get 500 pounds, okay? My lead time usage is 1 day. It's a Sunday. So 1 times 400 is 400. Add those two numbers together, and I should order 900 pounds of potatoes, okay? And if I want that in 50-pound bags, 18 bags, right? 900 divided by 550, 900 divided by 50 is 18 bags, okay? Now, fortunately for most of you, in a lot of places you work in the future are going to have everything automated. And you just put in how many you have in inventory and it'll automatically tell you how much you have to order, okay? But what happens if your computer shuts down? You have to know how to do it manually, right? And you have to know to take into account your lead time usage. Because if you don't, then you're going to always perpetually be short on product, okay? Questions, comments, concerns about ordering? So this is how in our purchasing cycle, we talked about purchasing. The next couple chapters, we're going to talk about receiving it, how we can have cost savings methods in our receiving, and bless you, and in our storage, okay? That is all I have for chapter 5. I would recommend that you go ahead and knock out your chapter 5 quiz right now. Just do those last two and just do them right now while it's fresh in your head before you leave. If not, then I will see y'all next week. And we will be, next week is the 21st. So it's a normal class next week, okay? Remember, the following week on the 28th is going to be a short class because I have to get to the airport for my flight as soon as the class is done.